Good evening and welcome back to another episode and preview of the Final Flight podcast. We are back again tonight and it's Cheltenham at the weekend. We've got George Gorman back after last week's fiasco with no show Joe again. George, welcome back, mate. How are you tonight? You good?
Yeah, all good, yeah. Looking forward to getting in some new course action. It's always a bit of fun. You hope there's always a few punters that don't know the difference between the two courses and you might get a better price on something. But,
I'll take it all there. Yeah, I like Cheltenham new course. It certainly opens it up a little bit. Rich, obviously a very nice Christmas jumper by the looks of that. Shame about the haircut, which you haven't had yet. These are the three of the best haircuts I've seen all week, these three. I'm obviously including myself. But how are you tonight, Rich, mate? You had a good week's punting?
Been steady away. Can't really nothing to shout about.
No odds on shots lumped on and defeated, none of that, no?
No, Jaguar would have been a nice one for the week, but never mind.
Yeah, I think poor Jaguar luckily stayed up after the error at the end. He wouldn't have won but he still ran a decent race. I think there's a pot up to 3 mile potentially on him at some point during the season, but we'll stick behind him. He's an horse that we really like. Jamie, good evening, mate. He's off out tonight, but looking forward to listening when I go. Good man, Jamie. Yeah, we'll have loads tonight. Tom's on. All right, lads. We're going to get stuck straight in then. Obviously, we've got Cheltenham tomorrow. We're going to do some of the racing tomorrow. Obviously, it's a pretty epic day tomorrow. If you've got racing TV, you've got to tune in and watch, especially this first race, because I tell you now, the presenters that are doing the show tomorrow are absolutely elite. We'll go into that a bit later. Anyway, we're going to do the 12:10, which is the British EBF National Hunt Novices Hurdle. You've got That's Nice, 4-year-old filly in the race for Nico de Boinville, Nicky Henderson. Wingman's in here for Gordon Elliott. Sam Ewing sends him over. That's fantastic. Country Mile for the Skeltons. Palacio for the Sam Thomas team. George, I'm going to come to you first, mate. Obviously, it's a tight little 4-runner race. What are your thoughts? Which way is it going? Is it GSI for JP or what?
Well, like the way I initially sized it up is just you have to try and go by the RPRs with races like these because obviously none of them have. Well, only one of them has an official rating. You've got 4 horses separated by £1 on RPRs, and obviously a huge price disparity. It's not a race I'll be getting stuck into. Look, That's Nice was very impressive the last day and open to more improvement than any of the others with just like 2 runs under her belt. You'd hope she'd have learned plenty from Warwick. She was impressive, but she was green. She was over jumping a bit. She was on and off the bridle. She was flashing her tail at the end as well. But receiving £7 from horses that are rated essentially the same as her makes her the right favourite. Wingman's a nice horse, but did jump right at times at Navan. And I was just, when it's this tight, if I was going to have a bet on the race at all, I'd almost chance the outsider. Palacio is there on ratings with all of these. What's in his favour, and That's Nice's favour, is they've achieved those ratings in a shorter space of time with just 1 run over hurdles each, both on their seasonal debut. So they're obviously both open to potentially a bigger step forward than the other two. And as you said, while That's Nice gets a £7 mare's allowance, Palacio also gets a £3 courtesy of Dylan Johnson, who is well worth that £3. So I'll probably be just watching, but if the 16-1 held up, I think they should probably be a lot close together here, having 5 or 6 to 1 maybe. So I might just chance a couple of quid on the outside of the 4. It's tighter than the betting saying.
Yeah, I think that's a fair comment, mate. I think, as you said there, Palacio, Dylan Johnson, obviously a cracking young jockey. We had him on the podcast the other week. He's got a good head on his shoulders, I think. He obviously beat Friendship at Chepstow, went off pretty quick that day. Friendship's come out and franked that form. Run or beat Let's Let It Rain. She's obviously out for the season, which is a shame, but ran pretty well. next time out again. I think it was behind that new line as well. So the form's not too bad for Palacio. My only worry would be if he goes off a bit too quick. Country Mile for Skeltons, obviously, he's come away from a race at Aydock behind Road Less Travelled By. I thought that were a decent race. I thought he probably could have won that, but his jumping is a little bit suspect. Last couple of, well, he sort of got the second last wrong. The last, he sort of stumbled over it. Will he be up to it for this sort of test? And like you said there, Wingman jumped pretty bad out to his right pretty the whole way around at Navan last time. So, yeah, I think that's nice. She just seems that, I mean, obviously it's a short price favourite. Do you want to get stuck in? Maybe put it in a multiple, something like that. I'd probably be on her, to be honest. She was dead impressive, I thought. Green as grass when the turn for home. Honky Tonk Ivory, to be fair, she were a bit all over the place and all. Nico, I think, was going to go down the right-hand side, turn back onto the left. And anyway, picked her up easy. She's come out this time. So, yeah, if I were going to have a bet, I'd be on that nice getting the allowance. I'm all for her. So, yeah. What do you think, Rich? Are you going to side with the favourite or are you going to take a punt on something else?
No, I think That's Nice is pretty solid, to be fair. I mean, you've already mentioned it. Beat the Honky Tonk Man, is it? Or Honky Tonk
Highway.
Yeah.
You want a Honky Tonk Man, do you? Is that what you want?
Obviously, he came and won next time out at Sandown. Gets weight from Wingman, who won nicely on his debut, but I'd question the form. I think 40 Coates, who was second, I think did come second again next time out quite recently, and third come nowhere. So I'd question that a little bit. I just think she's got the better form. She gets the weight. I just don't think she'll be beat. To be fair, I think she'll come on from her first run. I think she's a bit slicker, and I think she's pretty solid.
Yeah, and if you tune into Racing TV tomorrow morning, I'll be going into this race in a lot more depth, live on the TV, as I make all in the Tipstar 2024 competition. So if it were a vote, I'd say vote for me, but it ain't. Let's see what Nick Luck's got to say about it for tomorrow. But yeah, I think that's nice for me and Rich. And if George was going to chance, wouldn't it be Palacio, which is fair enough. But more of a watching brief. Right, we're going to move on then, lads, to the 240, which is a novice chase. And, well, originally we had Peaky Boy declared in here, but he then got took out. You've got Colwell Potter's now in here. Django Bay's the other runner for the Henderson's Battalion. Springwell Bay for John Joe. Deafening Silence for the Skeltons. And Ballymackey at 150 to 1. Rich, I'm going to swing to you first this time, mate. This is obviously Colwell Potter going to be a shortest favourite. Mind you, Django Bay seeing a little bit of money, 5 to 2 and 7 to 4. Are you with one of them two? Or are you taking them on with an outsider?
I think it is between the two. I mean, like you say, Django Bay has seen money and Caldwell Potter has come closer to evens now. The only question mark I've got with Caldwell Potter is maybe the ground. I mean, he likes a proper, deep, soft test. I mean, he was a hurdles winner for Gordon Elliott on heavy over 2 miles. It was soft, good to soft in places at Carlisle. I think the step up and trip is definitely going to suit. I just don't know if Django Bay potentially might pick him off with a bit more speed, potentially. It's going to be an interesting contest. If I was going to pick one, I'd probably still side with Caldwell Potter. I think he is the one that potentially has a bit more class. I mean, Django Bay finished second quite a lot of times last year. Finished second to Katira, Aintree, Personal Ambition, and Handstands, who obviously came out and won at Sandown. So the form's not too bad, but yeah, I think Caldwell Potter just has that edge, like I say, but the ground might get him beat. There's only question mark that I've got.
That's fair enough. I mean, George, obviously Caldwell Potter started his chasing career off at Carlisle. Not a bad jumping test there. What do you think? Do you think he's got it in him to win this, or would you back against him?
I think he does. Sort of trying to find a reason. My main reason I wouldn't be backing Django Bay is I just think these are some proper decent horses who have all had a go over fences. By Tiger Groom, which isn't necessarily against him going chasing. Armad was by Tiger Groom, but even him, it took him a few runs to get the hang of it. But I came down on Caldwell Potter has to be open to the most improvement of these. is opening RPR of 134 on the face over Chase fences. On the face of it, isn't that impressive? Given Springwell Bay recorded 141 and Deafening Silence
143.
managed 133 on
Yep.
Chase debut. But Springwell Bay's sort of been running over the right trip the entire time. You would have thought, but he got beat up in trip the next time. Comes back to 2-4. Deafening Silence's Chase debut second season chasers Trelawn and Iroko was obviously another huge effort over what would have been his best trip over hurdles. I just think the fact that Caldwell Potter is the one stepping up in trip might mean he can make a big jump forward here. Plus, obviously, he was the best of them over hurdles. I struggled. Basically, I tried to get him beat and I couldn't. I looked through the others and I couldn't find a reason why. I just think Springwell Bay is going to have to improve again to stop Caldwell Potter, and so is Deafening Silence. And I'm not backing Django Bay first time over fences. So I just roundabout way I came down on the 11-10 favourite after trying to get him beat.
The double might be the way to go tomorrow. The first two favourites.
Yeah.
I mean, if it could be a punt of the day tomorrow if the two favourites go in the first two. It's one of them, innit? Like you say there, George. You kind of look at him at a short price and think, do you want to try and get him beat? Django Bay, obviously, was it Jinko Blue or whatever? What's the other one?
Very similar, aren't they?
One that beat Jaguar. He obviously won first time. I mean, it's just all changed to 13-8 on my screen, and so there's a bit of money for him first time out. Yeah, do you want to back him first time out? I don't know. I always tend to like to leave him first run and see how they get on. Caldwell Potter obviously run pretty well at Carlisle. Steps back up in trip. Ground might be a bit of a question mark, but like you said, he's got the most scope for the improvement. For Springwell Bay as an horse, I just can't seem to. I don't know. I do think he doesn't stay the 3 miles. Him dropping back to the 2.5 would obviously suit him. I did think he jumped pretty well, to be fair, behind Highland, and he was sort of there or thereabouts turning in, but just didn't stay. So, but do I want to back John Joe? Oh, it just always puts me off. Honestly, he's cursed me half at the time when he's on like Jaguar and stuff like that. Rocco, but we're not here to bash jockeys, are we? So
it is interesting that Nichols is sending Caldwell Potter out 12 days after his debut.
Yeah, it's a pretty swift turnaround. Maybe they just want to get the runs into him. But Deafening Silence, I think they might be looking at an handicap for him down the line if he's sort of held up in behind this slot as well, like he was sort of last time against Trelawn and Iroko. He might be one for later on down the line, but yeah, it's tough. I think.
If he recorded the RPR he recorded first time over fences over 2-4, or he's eventually going to want 3 miles, I'd be out to get him here. It's just that knowing that there's going to be, it's not just coming on for the run, and coming on for the chasing experience. It's how much is he going to improve back up to 2-4 now? That's the real question. Actually, interesting with Springwell Bay, funny enough, I'd agree with you. I didn't think he stayed the last day. But he actually recorded a higher RPR that day than he did when winning the time before.
Yeah.
So on ratings, you'd always have to say he did stay because technically he ran better. But to the eye, he didn't seem to at all. Do you know what I mean? But,
yeah.
That's it. That's something you've got to bear in mind backing him, is actually how much is coming back down to 2-4 going to improve him if he was still able to run to around about the same rating up to 3 mile.
Yeah, I mean, I've put in here on my notes, and I've put in here chance Springwell Bay. So I'm going to take a small. I mean, you're talking a small bet. It's obviously 2 places, so I'm probably going to stick a $5 on him, win only probably when I'm there anyway. And if Caldwell Potter goes and wins, then it's kind of like fair enough. But he does jump pretty well, Springwell Bay, and if back down in trip, you never know if Caldwell Potter runs a little bit free again or something happens or something like that, and then it might undo him, but we'll see. I'll chance a small win bet on Springwell Bay. We'll see what happens there. Right, moving swiftly on. Just a couple of the comments here. Tom's good evening, Peter, mate. Thanks for tuning in. Everyone's good. Yep, all sound. Up you are as well. Tom's put Gentleman Bill runs again tomorrow. Backing him at Bangor, or does he run at Donny? I'm pretty sure he's going to run at Donny. I know Henry's jocked up. I think he's been in good form today, so I think Doncaster's the plan. It does look a weakish race. I think he'll win that. What's he off? Rich, was it 111 mark he got?
Something like that, yeah. 1-1.
Yeah, I know he's over 2 mile, but pretty decent long straight in it at Donny. You'll know being over road, Rich, but I think it'll suit him, don't you? Gentleman Bill for the win tomorrow.
Like you say, quite a decent running, slightly uphill. So yeah, I think you'll enjoy it.
Gentleman Bill, and the form's pretty good from the race that he did win, even though it was a bit fortunate. Obviously, the one that was going to won again, and the one that he beat, I'm a Lumberjack, won today. So the form's not too bad. 1-1-1, I think, is probably a bit lenient to him, but yeah, we'll see. Right, the 115 then, which is the handicap hurdle, sees the return finally of Will Mount. Obviously, with Aintree off for the other day, so we've got a lot coming in here. Current favourite Will Mount, Val Grand for the Skeltons. Don't say out, Rich. Do not say anything. Reckless Eric in 8, 6-1. Chase a Dream 15-2, 8-1. Tin, and 11-1. Bigger the rest. I'm going to swing to you, George. A nice little handicap to get us stuck into. Are you at the top of market, middle, or bottom?
This is completely the opposite to the other two races. We're trying to find a bet in a race where you're pretty sure you know the way it's going to go. And this one, so many horses with chances here. I sort of fell down, from a win perspective, I fell down on thinking that Cavern Club could be quite well treated. £3 better off with Reckless Eric than last time for a one length beating, and somehow is 5 points longer in the betting here. So I think that would be one to watch. With all of his best RPRs are on goodish ground. So if the ground dried out, he would be the one for me. If it stayed around good to soft, or maybe, I don't think we're due much rain, are we?
Don't think so. No, I think it's just cold and dry.
If by some freak it was riding slower than we thought, to Chase a Dream would be very interesting. It runs under a £7 penalty. He's due to go up 10, so he's £3 well in for his since his 6.5 length Carlisle route. But I say the vast majority of his form is on testing ground. So I'd probably play it like that, see how the ground's riding, play Cavern Club if it's riding quicker, Chase a Dream if it's riding a bit dead or a bit slow. The one I'd definitely take a chance on at a big price, sort of regardless of the ground, is Spirits Bay. He beat Donica by 6.5 lengths, giving him £1 on his penultimate start at Exeter. That horse won next time out, is now rated 122. A mark of 26 might seriously underrate this horse's ability. He does have the majority of his forms on soft ground, but he has bits and pieces all over the place. And again, so that's how I'll be playing it from a betting perspective. Obviously, I have to mention Bo Zenith, who used to be with Gary. He split Zenta and Nuzrat, who are now rated 143 and 137 in that Grade 1 juvenile hurdle at Aintree. 610 days ago. 135 could well underrate his ability, and even his Victor Ludorum win. He beat Punters LS by nearly 5 lengths, who's now rated 134. 135 could be on the low side for him. The thing I would say, knowing him for the short time I did, I think he might be a horse that's going to want further now. It's an older horse, and he'd certainly want the ground softer. I'm not even sure if the ground stays as it is, if he'll run, but he's obviously off 135. He'll win somewhere off 135. It's just whether he pops up here or not, I don't know.
Yeah, I like that. They're all fair comments there. There's some really nice horses in there. I mean, Rich, obviously it's nice to see Will Mount coming out. He could easily be better than 130, I suppose. Obviously, he's coming back from the layoff with the whatever he had, injury or whatever he had. Val Grand, we know how well he jumps, but he's obviously now back in trip. Reckless Eric's up £8, like George said there. Cavern Club could reverse the form. Which way are you siding in this nice, tasty handicap, mate?
For me, it's between the top two. I mean, like you say, Will Mount, rated 130, could well underestimate him. He looked a nice horse before pulling up at Newbury, but
I mean, I had him up for Supreme originally on the Cheltenham Countdown show before he had obviously had injuries.
Yeah. I mean, the ground in the shallow was absolutely shocking, wasn't it? It was worse than soft. I mean, they were practically walking home, and then obviously we didn't see him again. So I think the mark of 130 could be quite lenient. It's just a case of how fit will he be? 349 days off the track. I think if Nicky's got him ready, I think he could take some stopping. The other one I'm going to mention is Val Grand. I know you and Joe were shouting the house down when he was against Potter's Charm, and I kind of put you in your place for that one. So
all right.
but
I tell you.
But if you watch his run back at 2 miles the first time out at Cheltenham, you could not be impressed. I mean, he drops back down to is it 2 miles again here?
2 mile one.
2 mile one. It's obviously going to suit. I think that first one at Cheltenham, I thought he looked a bit like a graded horse. I know he's running off 139. I still think that he has that potential to be a graded animal. He's obviously got the race fitness. I just think he could just outclass them all here. So yeah, I think it's between the top two personally. I think they're the ones that have got the most ability and probably the highest ceiling. So they're the two that I'm going to go for. Well, Valgrand's the one I'm going to pick out too.
Yeah, I mean, Valgrand's an interesting one. I mean, I just sort of look at it and think, are they going to be bothered about winning this, or is it going to be out the back of the telly sort of thing? You know, looking at something bigger down the line maybe. But obviously, I'd look.
Surely Valgrand having a run under his belt has got to be of some help against Willmount. Like, he's nearly had a year off at this point. It's heading that way. Like, if you're split between the two, I know it's a lot of weight for a young horse, but I'd be personally going for the horse that's had a run.
It's a class 3 as well. He's running class 1s, and was it a graded?
The less we say about Willmount and Beau Zenith and where they came from and where they are now and how little they've been running, the better.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're back in Willmount, I mean, you're kind of just doing it on complete faith, aren't you? Really, off that long, you don't know what's there, so you haven't really got out to go off to back him. Valgrand obviously let me down against Potter's Charm. Rich does me head in every time I see him. He mentions it, which is annoying. I think you're right. I think it may go to him. He should really outclass these. Whether he will do, will be another question. I thought the Chase of Dream was the one I quite like. Cobden's on. I was impressed by the Carlisle run. It might want it not to get too quick, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I mean, it's not one to get too heavily stuck into, but I'd probably play to Chase a Dream each way and have a little win on Valgrand, even though it pains a bit.
Well, he's back down to his optimum trip, James, so I'm with you now.
Yeah, I mean, it's essentially, if they're thinking he's a graded animal, it should be mopping up in this, shouldn't they? And you just know Willmount's going to come absolutely tanking along and win it. Now we've said all that, but no, it's one of them. You can't really back them off this much. You just don't know what's under, especially off an issue. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, let's see if Skeleton can bring it home. I mean, he's such a good jumper. He is an electric jumper. And we'll just have to see how he gets on, really.
On the Skelton horses as well, it's worth noting that Joyous Mashan is down the bottom. Like, this won't be his day, but an interesting recruit for Dan Skelton. It'd be interesting to see what he can do with him. He's a horse with plenty of ability. He just fell off a bit of a cliff towards the end of last year. Back over hurdles, I wonder if he's the sort of horse that could sneak in on the handicaps at Cheltenham fairly well in. It's certainly a horse to keep one eye on during the race.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on him. You watch him be out the back and just sort of tootling along, and they're going to try and bring him along, and he could pop up in something. Right, the 150. Now, before we talk about this race, let's just take a minute to be absolutely gutted that Aintree were off last week, Rich. I mean, we were in double figures on Gaborio. We're down to about 7 to chuffing in 2. About to absolutely bolt up in the beach. We had the money in the bank, and it got called off. Now he's obviously going to. Is he going to Doncaster? I believe.
Coming to Doncaster, yes.
Yeah, he's already about 4.
Yeah.
You what, George?
He's been declared at Doncaster. Yeah.
Yeah, he's going Doncaster.
Should be an easier race in theory.
Yeah, probably 3 mile. Yeah, we'll see how he gets on. I'm sick. I'm absolutely sick. He'd have bolted up last week. But anyway, what can you do? We decided to not go to Cheltenham. We were entered in this and he were entered in the cross country one. They're obviously going to Doncaster now, so we'll see what the plan is after that. If he wins that, fair enough. But I'm a bit debating whether to even back him at the price now, because I'm just sick. Absolutely sick. Anyway, we got his money back, so it's not in the world. Rich, 150 then. The Sonic the Hedgehog 3 coming soon. Handicap Chase. Chianti Classicos in here off 12 stone. 6-4, King Turgeon's in here, 3-1. Bally Griffin, Cottage, Java Point, 8-1. 10-1, bigger the rest. Can you get excited about this race now then? Is it Chianti Classicos? Can he win another race giving the weight away?
I wouldn't say I'm getting excited about it. I mean, it's similar to the last race, you know. Chianti Classico is the probably classiest horse in the race, off top weight. is this going to be his day though, or are they going to try and get that mark a bit lower? I think they mentioned the Grand National, haven't they, for that end of season sort of target. The one I'm probably going to side with is King Turgeon. Obviously, that Grand Sefton, Gaborio is in third. Hopefully, he can win this and boost the Gaborio form for Doncaster. I mean, he's gone up £6, but he's getting a load of weight from Chianti Classico.
I think he's getting about 2 stone, isn't he?
Yeah, something like that. And he did win the Sefton very well. I mean, he was always doing enough at the end. He steps up in trip again. It's not going to be an issue. Yeah, he's the problem I'm putting aside with. But like you say, if Kim Bailey's got Chianti Classico right, then he might just bolt up. But if they are thinking Grand National, they may just want to see him run well, but maybe finish second or third. But yeah, King Turgeon's the one I'm going to side with, I think.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I come to you, George. I mean, if Chianti Classico was to win this, do you think he'd go up much more in ratings? Who do you think? Do you think he's just a class act? Can they beat him? They're just going to keep winning with him and then go for a national. But what do you think?
I think he just wins. To be honest, I sort of had it's another one. I had a good look through. I tried to get him beat, and he's just a class act here. He goes on all ground, and it sort of needs to be said as well. Like that run last time was over 3 mile. His best effort of last season was over an extended 3 mile one on the old course. So even though this is on the new course, a return to a slightly more extreme trip could pull a bit more out of him. He's up £5, but geez, he puts half of these out of the weights. My concern with King Turgeon, it might be an old-fashioned concern, is how much the national fences might have improved him. Which I know you've got to limit that nowadays. Like you can't go, well, he's a completely different horse over national fences because none of them are.
Yeah.
But he is £17 higher than when he won over regulation fences the last day. And you've got to factor that in, even though because of Chianti Classico, he's running off 10 stone 4. Even trying to find an each way place in this race was a pain because the two of the 3 that I fancied were out the weights. If I was going to do a place only, it might be on Java Point. Like his length and a half seconds transmission, receiving £1 doesn't look too bad to me. I think transmission's probably quite a lot better than the mark he's currently off. But yeah, I'd probably be more inclined to back Chianti Classico to win than that horse place only. I don't like backing horses from out the weights, and he's £2 out the weights. So I think I'd just be all Chianti Classico. I did think when you said at the start of this, before we start this race, we've got to say you were going to go into the sponsor of this race. But I can't ever remember a race being sponsored by a movie before at Cheltenham or anywhere else, much less Sonic the Hedgehog. The fastest hedgehog in the multiverse, and he's sponsored by 3 mile 2 chase for vloggers. You'd be a 2 mile hurdle,
Fast Sonic the Hedgehog's in a 3 mile 2 plodding race. Yeah, it's quite ironic, to be fair.
Well, Keanu Reeves is voicing Shadow in the new movie, so if Keanu Reeves is presenting the prize, it will be forgiven. That'd be something, wouldn't it?
It'd be Jim Carrey turning up at Cheltenham. Imagine that. Yes, I'll try and say hello to him. Oh my God! In full outfit as well. We're going to come dressed as Grinch. Quite funny. Yeah, I mean, obviously we had Gaborio out for the beach, and I was gutted about it. I thought he'd have loved them main tree fences. I think he'd have gone and won. But yeah, I'm not a real fan of King Turgeon myself. Up to trip, I know Windop seems to have done its trip, but he's up again in weights, in ratings. I think Chianti Classico just probably wins this. He just seems to keep going and going and going, and you go down the list, like you say there, and you're talking Ballagriffin Cottage is third favourite, and I can't stand that horse, but he'll probably go and win now. But no, I think Chianti Classico for me, I'll stick with him and let him go and win. Tom Leach has put, if Chianti Classico wins, they will probably have to go to the Gold Cup instead of the National. I don't know if they want to win tomorrow. I don't know. What did Thingy win it off last year? When it won 5-9, he won it off.
But they could just run it over hurdles if they didn't want to get its mark up, couldn't they? Rather than... Yeah,
that's another good point. Why bother keep going if you're not, you know what I mean?
And the horse is fit. Like he won a few weeks ago, he's fit. and you're upping him to his best trip that we've seen him over so far. It's put it I'll put it diplomatically. If one was to not want a horse to win, the best way to do it wouldn't be to get it as fit as possible and run it in the best possible race for it. They could easily have run this horse over 2-4 if they didn't want to win. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's absolutely no reason to put it in a race like this and then, moan when Kieran Geffings is hanging off it, trying to stop it from winning, which I'm not saying will happen. I'm not saying has ever happened with any horse from this yard or any other yard. But there are better ways. And it'd be unfair to the jockey to ask him, like in a race like this where everything's in his favour, because you're giving the jockey an impossible task then. And they're the one that will get banned.
Yeah, and like you say there, I mean, you see it all the time, don't you, where kind of horses are ridden in races that wouldn't suit them. And that's how they sort of look at the marks. You see it all the time, don't you? Horses running over 2 mile and they keep doing it, and all of a sudden they step up in trip and stuff. So why give him everything in his favour, like you say there, if you're not there to win?
Run him over this trip in open company, and he could run as well as he wants and not go up or down, really. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you've put him in the race where you think he should win this, so I think they'll go and win it. I think he'll win. I don't think he'll go up in ratings too much if he wins it.
no.
Unless, well, depending on how he wins it, but yeah, we'll find out on Friday. Can't wait to watch it. I've stood there with Jim Carey, laughing my head off. Right then, we're going to move over to a couple of races on Saturday then, and we're going to start with the 12:40, and it's the Novices Limited Handicap Chase, and you've got a horse that I'm very, very excited for in here. Peaky Boy's back in here after winning first time out at Cheltenham the other week. Transmissions in here who won for Patrick Mullins. Destroy the Evidence, and horse I quite like as well in here. 7-1 bigger the rest. Rich, you got Hector Claus in here as well. Isaac de Zobo. Hillcrest is back out. Which way are you heading with this, mate? Is it Peaky Boys to lose?
Yeah, I'm with you. I was a big fan of Peaky Boy last time out. I mean, he beat Weston in the Park for Ollie Murphy, who I think is a good horse. I think he's a good yardstick. I mean, he's got to give transmission. Is it £6 tomorrow?
£7.
£7. Yeah. I just think he was very good last time out. He's the one I'd probably side with. Going through it, there's not a lot else that takes me fancy. Transmission is the only other one that I potentially like. I mean, I think he might be. Is he 5s on Sky Bet? Maybe
6 to 1 you can get it.
It's a muggy each way. I don't think he'll be out the top 3. Maybe that's the safest betting option. But yeah, I really like Peaky Boy. I think he's got some potential. I think he'll go far.
No, it's been up. I mean, obviously Transmission won well, backed him that day. There's a horse called Planned Paradise who he beat by 2.5 lengths. He come out and got walloped next time, so I maybe question the form a little bit. Peaky Boy I really like. Obviously dead impressed with him at Cheltenham last time. He looked like he would beat all hands up, and then all of a sudden he's come out like an grown wings and flown down the outside and won it probably pretty well in the end. Destroy the Evidence as the form, second behind Brow to Greatness, another horse I quite really like going forward. Yeah, I think it's going to be tough to beat Peaky Boy, to be honest. 7-4 is not too bad. What do you think, George?
Yeah, no, I was on Peaky Boy the last day, and he certainly looked like this step up in triple suit. But it's hard to know how much, and 5.5 furlongs is a big jump in trip. And essentially, on the face of it, he's up £7 winning by 2.5 lengths, and he was under the pump a fair way out. Obviously, he's going to travel better. That's not going to happen so much over this trip. But at 15-8, it's probably just enough for me to take him on with. As I just said, if you're a fan of Transmission, it's well worth waiting until the 150 on Friday's over, because Java Point, while he's running from £2 out the handicap, was second to him the last day. So maybe wait and see how that goes. But the main one I landed on was Destroy the Evidence. He's somehow £1 better off with Haiti Couleur than when he beat him by 2 lengths on his chase debut. And you said the subsequent, I think he got beat a length and 3/4 by Bow to Greatness, giving him £6. That's a career best effort and could look even better by the end of the season. Like, that could be a horse that's really going places. Having said that, he was actually keeping on very well that day, and this sort of slight step up in trip from that could bring about a little bit more improvement. So I'll be looking at him from a win perspective, and because it's me, I don't think I've ever done this on a podcast before. This is two outsiders I'm suggesting for a place only bet. Moon d'Orange has loads of worthwhile form over hurdles. He was 2 lengths second to Johnny who's now rated 143. Moon d'Orange runs here off 128. He had a 4-length grade 2 third to Shanna Bob, who's now rated 134. Beat Email Andy off level weights by 2.5 lengths on his penultimate hurdle start, who was then third in the National Hunt Novice Final at Sandown, and won at Plumpton to end up rated 133. He hasn't set the world on fire over fences yet, but the first one was a 2-mile beginner's chase. He was only beaten by Facile Mode and Touch Me Not, and obviously he was off levels with them. And his second start was over 3 miles, but again, it was a novice, and he was very badly treated at the weights. But on weight-adjusted ratings, there's only one horse that finished in front of him that shouldn't have done, which was Transmission, funny enough. I think back in a handicap of 128, he could actually run very well. I don't think he'll win, but if you can get someone to give you 3 places, place only, I could see him running very well. Like John McConnell doesn't mess around when it comes to bringing horses to Cheltenham. That's it. I'd probably play the 2 of them. I would play Destroy the Evidence to win. I'll play Moon d'Orange place only.
No, it's fair enough. I mean, Destroy the Evidence, like I say, I mean, the bout to greatness form, I think it's strong form. I think both horses are very talented. So, you know, if Peaky Boy's to win, I'd definitely have him following him home. Have you said yours, Rich? I forgot now. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, Peaky Boy.
Yeah. I think it's between them two. I think that I won't put anyone off. Cheeky forecast either. Forecast there. Ellis, you didn't do the veterans. Oh, the veterans chase on Friday. Does anybody want to do the veterans chase on Friday? We could have a look at it at the end.
I did have it in any other business, so I do have a view on it. So
well, we'll talk about it at the end, then that's fine. They're always fun races, veterans chases. And Ellis, but Hattical Laws is next year's Welsh national winner anyway, surely. Maybe, mate. Maybe.
The connections like it, don't they? They have that. Is it Wayfinder, Pathfinder that was second in it last year?
Wayfinder, yeah.
Wayfinder, that's the one. And he was second to Naslam in the trial, wasn't he? I don't remember if he was second. He wasn't second in the actual Welsh national, was he? I don't remember, but yeah.
I can't remember. We'll see where it goes. Right then, so the last race before we do the anything else section then, which will include the veterans chase, Alice. Do you want to tell us who wins as well, mate, in comments? The December Gold Cup then. You've got Fugitive in here as current 11-2 favourite. Madara for the Skeletons. Garlaw, Il Ridotto stage star off 12 stone. Granger Dame and 10-1 in Excelsior Dio. Bigger the rest. Rich, who wins the December Gold Cup? Have you backed anyone yet? Anti-post vote like that? What are you thinking, mate?
I've not done anything anti-post. I think it's a good competitive race. I mean, you've got a lot of these taking them each other on again from the Paddy Power Gold Cup. I mean, Il Ridotto won it last time out, but he's now rated 149 and he won it off 138. He's been hammered. I thought Fugitive ran well in 5th last time out. I think he'll be primed for this. Obviously, he chased down Il Ridotto when Bryony Foss went for home last year. I think
pound better off this year as well for winning it last time.
He's a pound better off, yes. He's only up. I can't remember what's he's running off 150. He was 152, so he's gone down from his last run. I think he's got a very good chance. The one that I'm probably going to side with though is Garlaw. Finished second last time out. I think he's gone up a pound. He's up 156. I mean, he seems to run fairly. I mean, he was finished first, 5th in the Cheltenham meeting, first, and then second. He always seems to run well at Cheltenham. The ground's going to be decent enough for him. He's the one who probably get a chance. But like you say, I think Fugitive is very strong as well. So I won't put you off either of them, to be fair. You'll probably get each one. I think is Fugitive 5-1, is he? Maybe?
Yeah, it's around 5. Well, 5.92 to 11-2, sort of a decent little spread.
Again, a muggy each way, but I can't see him out the top 4. So
Well, you're getting poor places with a few things. Go on then, George. Is it Fugitive to lose? Is he prime for it? They dropped him £2 after that last run. A little bit of an eye catcher. A
It
few
could
people
be.
have backed him at double figures.
I'll give Rich a stat he's going to like. Garlaw has
Yeah.
never been out of the first two in a handicap at Cheltenham. And I own this. Freddie Mitchell, who's riding for us now, was Jamie Snowden's assistant. I think he actually sourced this horse. And I was all over him for the Paddy Power because there was, for whatever reason, I don't know if it was a Rick or what, but the Sky Bet were offering, I think it was a shade of odds against for him to finish in the first three or the first four even. And he was like second favourite in the betting. I couldn't understand it. It was one of my better touches of the year. Couldn't believe it wasn't odds on place only for the first three. But anyway, on a career high mark, I wouldn't oppose him today. If I could get the same price place only about him, I'd do it again. To be fair, I haven't actually checked, but from a win perspective, I'll be looking at Madara here, purely because Fugitive, for all the reasons you said. He'll probably he got out of his ground early in the Paddy Power and in difficult circumstances ran well and probably take a step forward with a run under his belt, and obviously this will be his second run back from a wind up. But he's a big horse and I don't think this ground will be soft enough for Fugitive. Madara, however, is obviously a much more compact, younger horse. He made an excellent debut for the Skeltons in the Paddy Power with the cheek pieces and the tongue tie taken off. And finished off really well, like not quite with a wet sail, but he was staying on at the end. Got dropped £1 for that, and cheap piece is back on today. He's only 5. I think he could take another huge step forwards in this. And again, if you were inclined to have an each way bet on this race, Grandeur Dam is worth mentioning. He was beaten 10 lengths into fourth in this race last year off the same mark. But 4 of his 5 UK wins have come on no worse than good to soft. It was soft last year. It's bound to be faster than that this year. And as with last year, he comes here off the back of a reappearance win. Last year, it was winning an egg and spoon race by 25 lengths. This year, he beat Garlaw, who obviously went on to finish second in the Paddy Power off £1 higher. I think he could well hit the frame. He's not a horse that tends to win multiple races a season. But again, like what is he, 9 to 1? I think you probably get double figure on the day if you were thinking of backing him each way or place only. He's one that really shouldn't be forgotten, especially Brendan Powell riding out of his skin at the moment as well.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you there, mate. I think Grady Dan's a nice little each way player. I've backed him a couple of times when Tom Bellamy's been on, and he's a nice horse. But I think for me, if you back Fugitive at double figures, I know a few people are on anti-post. I think he sat on a decent ticket, obviously. But I think Madara I won't go into any much more detail than what you've said there for Skeltons. I think he's going to go really close in this. I remember when he won at Leopardstown against Pat Drew. I thought it was really impressive. But nice to see him send him over there. He's now with Skeltons. I think he does go really close. Like say there, the cheek piece is back on. Skeltons on a Saturday, handicap, big pot. I think they're really, really trying this year for this trainers title as well. I think they're going to be bang there. So I think my each way will be Madara as well.
Do you think the Patron's going to run a good race in that job?
Yeah, I was literally just about to say I hadn't mentioned him. My problem with it, I think this would be a quick enough turnaround for him, and I'm not sure Cheltenham would be his track. Like you look at it's either like Sand. Obviously, he won a bad race at Fontwell, but other than that, he's winning at Sandown in Newbury, like tracks that really favour good jumping and just where you can get into a rhythm. I'm just worried Cheltenham might knock him out of a rhythm a bit. Obviously, I'll be cheering him on no matter what, but I wouldn't be having any money on him, I don't think.
So he bolts up now, doesn't he?
Yeah. Well, yeah. If you'd asked me the last day, I don't know what I'd have said. So I certainly wouldn't have told you back this horse now, anyway. But I just take a minute, actually. Freddie Mitchell, if there's trainers listening, stick him on your horses. I think a lot of people don't realise Freddie's 30. Like, Freddie's not come.
I didn't know that. I thought he sounds like a teenager, doesn't he?
Yeah, no. I've known him since we were 12, 13, and he's always been dripping in talent, absolutely dripping in talent. But he went to Henderson's, couldn't get a look in there. Like, had a few rides there. Went out to France for Guy Chirel. They loved him there, and poor bastard just kept getting broken. Like, he just he just kept having falls. Every time he had a fall, he'd break. And he had a few years off, came back, riding as good as ever. I'm seeing now, you watch back, he won on Hudson de Grugy at Fontball the other day. It's as good a ride as you'll ever see. You watch that horse jumping around Sandown, they could barely lift a leg, and somehow Fontball takes less jumping than Sandown. But down to last on him, like, and it's weird because he's a mate of mine. Watching him ride down to last on Hudson de Grugy, that was like watching like all the people I grew up who made me want to ride. I think he's that good. And he's got £5 at the minute. People need to use him. Like, this is the jockey he always should have been. And it's amazing to get it and to see him finally live it and ride these good horses, because he deserves it. And obviously he comes from a family of huge racing pedigree as well, and I'm sure he's doing them all proud every day. But Jesus Christ, he's value for £5.
When he wins the December Gold Cup, he'll be live on ITV Racing, George, for everybody to see.
Yeah. Well, he was the last time, but unfortunately it was a Friday when he rode his double at Newbury, so I don't think anyone saw it.
I'll try and get an interview with him on Racing TV. I'm not there Saturday. Is he there on Friday? Can't remember.
I haven't checked, to be fair.
We'll see how it goes. It should be a belting race, and we'll see how he gets on. Right. Let's fire back to the anything else then section. I'll go with you first, George. Since you wanted to mention the Veterans Chase. Obviously, it's always a tasty race. I mean, I don't know if you looked at cross country in it as well, but let me know what you're thinking. Anything else you'd like to mention, mate?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get it up here. The Veterans race. One that stuck out to me, it seemed to be the wrong price, was Numitor. Like, he's won on all sorts of ground. Like, he's 10, which is the age you want to be in these races. They're all 10 or 11. There's no real veterans in this. But he won last time out. He's only up £3. He was second off the same mark last year. I just thought he was completely the wrong price at 14 to 1. Like, I think that's a cracking each way bet. That was the one I thought in that. Cross country race is essential viewing if you were ever going to have a bet in the real thing. At Cheltenham, you got Stumptown, Mr. Coffee, Late Night Pass, Delta Work, Cocoa Beach, the David Cotton horse. I think there's Chemical Energy in there as well. Like, there's some top horses in that. And then you got, is it the last race on Friday? Doyen Quest is back. Like, that's you know, if the last day is anything to go by, he'll probably bolt in again. Three proper bets I've got away from there. Buxy de Epier is in 12.25 at Doncaster. He's a horse I've been looking forward to seeing him over fences since he split Spirit Danu and Punta del Este in a handicap at Sandown last year. He was £3 out the weights that day. And those are two proper horses he split. And he just had that profile of the Venetia horse that improves £20 over a fence. You know, and they were like sticking one or two really good runs and then 5 indifferent ones. Yeah, those are always the ones. And he made a great chasing debut. He beat Rare Edition and Bad on good ground. £5 won't be enough to stop him here. And once the mud starts flying again, like, he'll improve out of all recognition, because it was heavy that day when he split Spirit Danu and Punta del Este. The one, Gary's one, I will give you is 130 at Doncaster. You got Cloud Dancer. He's if you look back 2 starts ago, he made his seasonal debut at Fontball over 2 miles. Maybe the second hurdle down the back on the last circuit, he nearly fell out the back of the TV, and he stayed on like a steam train. He must have been 25, 30 lengths down. He stayed on like a steam train to finish second, and he nearly got upended in the straight as well. When it was actually Niall was on him that day. I'm sure it was Sean Houlihan that fell in front of him and hampered him. But up to 3 mile, this horse, I think he's off 117-ish. He could be a mid 120s horse easily. So I'm really interested to see how he gets on over 3 miles. And then a real cheeky one, just skipping to Windsor. You've got on Sunday, the first meeting back over jumps at Windsor. Belargus, former winner of the Josh Giffen Memorial race at Sandown. He made a very pleasing seasonal debut. Finished third. He was bang there 2 out. Got tired. He's not getting any younger, but Nick Gifford's made a really good start to this season. He's had at least 4 or 5 winners already, which might even be level with how many he had all last season. Like he's had a new gallop put in, and a lot of these horses are just seem to just be ready earlier. And this horse, I said, he made a good start. I think it was at Stratford, and then he runs here off, I think, 115. He was just touched off at Huntingdon on his last start of last year off 116. So I just think the good horses are running well, and I could see him being one to really benefit, like with all the R being in such good form. But yeah, I'll leave Rich to the rest because I'm sure everything else I've got here, Rich is going to pick up. So I'll leave it to the master.
Love those. Go on then, Rich, mate. I mean, there's obviously plenty of racing this weekend. There's loads out. Take it away, mate. There'll be some questions in the comments, I think, as well. We'll answer them in a minute.
I mean, have a quick look at the veterans race. If I was going to pick one, it'd be Shamblu for Skeletons. I mean, he finished 4th off top weight over 3 miles on his seasonal reappearance, so that was quite decent. Drops back in trip is going to suit. He's got race fitness. Some in the comments saying he's getting backed a little bit, so he's the one I'd probably side on. What else do we got? Obviously, at Doncaster, we quickly mentioned Gentleman Bill for the Green Old Guerrero team. Hopefully, he can go very close. 205 at Bangor, I've gone for Alan DeBanks. Finished 4th last time out at 33-1 on Hurdle's debut. Farland finished 3rd in that race. He was then 2nd to Derry Hassan Paddy last time out, who I think he's very well thought of for the yard. I think he's Venetia's, that one. What else we got? Doncaster 125 home public for the Green Old Guerrero, drops into a class 3 again. He's off 136. I think that puts him very close to his last winning mark, and he has won quite well. I think off 138. Obviously, he's lost his way a little bit, but he was quite promising and encouraging last time out, so hopefully he can go well. What else have we got? Saturday, obviously.
I'll just mention the notes quickly there, Rich. Sorry, mate. Just the one in the Home Public race. I mean, I missed the price, but Arcube is one that I quite like the interest. He's had a wind up. Couple of out the back of the tellers. I think he could have run pretty well. It's about 9-1, but he was about double figure price. But yeah, Arcube is one I quite like in that race as well. Carry on, mate. Sorry, the 125 Doncaster.
There you go. Marlsborough's obviously making his chase debut at Fairy House in the 11:30 race. That's going to be over 2 miles.
I bet Joe's buzzing for his Brown advisory bet.
I bet Joe can't wait for that. Yeah, hopefully he'll bomb out and he'll step up and trip ASAP. Is what Joe's thinking. Doncaster on Saturday, there's 2 that I like here. You've got Fergal O'Brien horse. Is it Horax Pearl in the first race? I don't think it's going to be any sort of a price like, but maybe one for the Muggy Yackers. And then in the 2:05, Gaborio's out. I think he's about 5s, maybe. I mean, we thought it was
shorter than that, which is annoying. We should stop bringing him up.
We thought he was going to win the Beecher, didn't we? So surely this is an easier sort of race. He's off a low weight. I think he's very well handicapped, so hopefully he can go well. Moving on to Cheltenham, you've got Lavender Hill Mob is back out in the juvenile for James Owen after he said he was better than East India Doc. That'd be quite interesting to see how that one goes.
That went well, didn't it?
That went very well. Yes. You know when you shouldn't say something. Maybe that's what he's thinking.
Look at him doing stuff at home, and you just don't know, do you?
Yeah, that's true. In the Albert Bartlett trial, I think this is going to be a very good race. I mean, you've got Sky Jack Hijack, who literally has just got a load of ones next to his name. Obviously,
but he gets beat, doesn't he? He gets beat, doesn't he?
I think he'll not have it easy now. There's 2 in here that I like, and they both have similar form. You've got Clondor General for Kim Bailey and About Damn Time for the Green Old Guerrero yard. Obviously, both won last time out. It's the point-to-point form. Actually, Clondor General, beat About Damn Time in a 3-mile point-to-point. So I think that could be quite decent form. I mean, About Damn Time is quite a big price. I mean, he could run well, step up in trip. He looked like he had a good attitude last time. But I think Clondor General is probably the one to be on in that. And then the last one I have is in the 3:35. Is it Joyce?
Juicy.
Whatever you want to say it. One's in a mare's handicap hurdle off 119. I think she's way better than 119. I mean, she finished third in a decent race at Ascot last time out, where Celtic Dino won. Wade Out was second, who I think is a very good horse, and Joyce was third. But that was her second run over hurdles after winning at Taunton. I just think she's way better than 119, so I think she'll go close, and that is all I have.
Fair enough. I think the Sky Hijack race could be. You what, Rich?
Feel free to mention anything else if there's anything left.
No, I'm happy with all them. I think you've covered pretty much everything. I think the Sky Hijack race is going to be really interesting. About damn time. I think there's some good horses in there. They're both him and Condor General both entitled to come on for the run, definitely.
The horse that About Damn Time won against, I think he's running before previously, maybe Friday or Saturday somewhere. So be interesting to see if that form gets franked.
I've mentioned as well that West Balboa's back out at Doncaster as well in the listed mares race. Probably the certainty of the weekend, I'd say. If I 4 to 6, but probably buying money, to be honest. I can't see. Like Gail Marler's the second favourite on weight adjusted ratings. I think they're technically off levels, but I can't see Gail Marler beating a horse like West Balboa. And the only other race I thought was worth mentioning was Saturday, the 225 at Cheltenham. You got Liberty Hunter back out, which if he can carry on his progress, could potentially be one. He's either going to be in one of the open races at Cheltenham, or he's going to be carrying top weight in one of the handicaps. He's going to be there, so it's well worth keeping an eye on him. And we've got Isar Dairy in the same race, who obviously tipped up last time I was on here. Difference being this time Freddie's back on. So last time he was up £2 and without Freddie, went to Niall, a non-claimer. Niall's important to him. He was technically up 7. Now he's back down to sort of just being up 2. So might be worth chancing again. It's a much better race, but it's worth bearing in mind that having Freddie back on means he's up 2 rather than 7 from that race where he split Copmask and Matador, who obviously then went on to frank the form by finishing first and second the next day.
Yeah, we'll be following him. Right, I've got a couple of questions, then we'll do Naps and next best. Let's just put one for you away, George, I think. Why is it not showing up? No, not that one. My whole thing's just flicked. Where is it? How many days until it's Cephalus' day? Come on.
I'm not the one to ask. I tell you, I wish they'd told me the last day. So the first day even. Is I've been on the right side of him a couple of times, but it's through my own judgment rather than anything else. I don't know. I think he's still fairly high, isn't he? I think he's still a fair way above the mark he started off the last time.
I think he needs a few more out the back. Oh, I love it. So we've got that one there. Thomas looks like he's back Shamblu. Yeah, fair enough. He's getting backed in a little bit. Fenton John, good evening, mate. Anything about Don Time? Yeah, obviously, we think he's a fair each way bet. Should be a good race, that. Really good race. Don't go too in deep, though, I thought. He's got late night pass in the cross country. Should go well off a few pounds higher than winning last year. Yeah, I don't mind that, mate. I don't mind that at all. In the first at court tomorrow, the JPR's Kel Histior. Back to him at 51 for the Supreme. Speculative bet at a big price. Right, well, we'll see how he gets on, mate. We'll see how he gets on. Right, we're going to finish on Naps and next best. Rich, who's your nap? Who's your next best?
My nap. It's tricky because there is a lot of good horses, actually. My nap would probably have to be Gaborio at Doncaster, I think. I just think we thought he was going to win the Beecher. I think he's well handicapped. I just think he wins.
I've just got this feeling because we were on such a good price, he's just going to get beat on Saturday. I don't think I'm going to back him, but hopefully it goes. Big Gabs, love him. Next best?
Next best would be, is it Joyce at Cheltenham on the Saturday?
Juicy.
I think she's way better than 119, so yeah.
Fair enough. George, can I have a nap and next best off you, mate?
I'll go, the nap would be Chanti Classico. And I'm going to go next best, I'm going to make Cloud Dancer at Doncaster on Saturday in the 130. He
Very
ought to be
nice.
involved. You can't have two. You can't have a short price nap and a short price next best, can you? It'd be.
No, that's true.
But Buxy Day FPA would
Which
be
one?
close to being my nap, but we'll give it a long. I think Cloud Dancer should be a good price. If you're lucky, you might get double figures.
Oh, very nice. Well, we'll be back in it. I'll definitely be back in it. My nap for tomorrow is James Woods in the Tipstar competition. He's going to attempt to make all from the front. Right, that's enough about that. No, my nap's going to be, that's nice in the first. I've got to go for the first race simply because I'm previewing it tomorrow, but I think that's nice, ticks all the beating. And my next best will be Madara in the Gold Cup. I think Skeletons are going to have another pot on their hands on Saturday. Right, that's it from us. Again, George, mate, thanks for coming on. Hope you've enjoyed yourself.
Yeah, it's good fun as always, lads. Yeah, anytime.
Good man. We'll probably have you on. I'll speak to you back next week anyway, and we'll just keep cracking on. Rich, obviously, you enjoyed yourself, mate. Looking forward to a big weekend.
Yes, like I keep saying, there's a lot of good horses out there. Just hope they all run to their potential. Like you say, That Nice, Joyce, Gaborio, Gentleman Bill, the list goes on. Canty Cassico, there's loads. So hopefully it'll be a good couple of days for punters and a couple of bad days for bookies.
Fingers crossed, mate. Well, everyone, thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you all next week. And if you've got Racing TV, make sure you turn it on tomorrow because you'll see my nice
What
face.
time, James, are you on?
I'm previewing the first race at 12:10, so I'll be on about 1:15. Me and Nick look, we're like this. We're like this, me and Nick.
Are you doing hair and makeup?
Hair and makeup, yeah, everything. And I'll be getting treated, suited and booted, looking smart, hopefully. And yeah, it's gonna be a good laugh. Box at Cheltenham, you can't really beat that, can you, sir? I'm looking forward to it. So if you're there tomorrow, I'll try and say hello to you. Let's have a pint. And yeah, we'll have a good time. So thanks, everybody. And we'll see you all next time. Have a good evening. Have a good weekend. Goodbye.
See you later.